Hello, Vulkan is the modern graphic API and used in the various games. Even some game only support Vulkan. Today, I will talk about how Vulkan is used and introduce some Vulkan features. My name is Do-Young Kim, Developer Relation Engineer in Android games. First, I will give a brief introduction to the Vulkan API, and we will look at some case studies of developers who use the Vulkan in their game on Android. Next, we will explore some advanced graphic technique you can do in the Vulkan. Lastly, Samsung will share how they have been working with developers to make games better with Vulkan. Vulkan has been available for several years. It was announced at GDC 2015, and Android picked Vulkan to replace OpenJLES as a graphic API. There is 4 big reasons why Vulkan was selected. It is cross-platform, so it can be used on the PC as well. Vulkan provides low-level accessibility, giving control over detail and giving the ability to make more optimization. It is more efficient than older graphic APIs, so you can have higher draw performance without become the CPU bound. Lastly, it explicitly supports multi-threading, make it easier to take advantage of the multiple CPU cores. Of active Android device with the Google Play, 84.3% of devices support Vulkan. It is from the API level higher than 23, and during the last 28 days activated the devices. We expect this number to steadily increase over time, and personally I hope one day it will be 100% in the future. Look at how some developers have been using the Vulkan in their Android games. When computers brought the Summoners War Chronicle to Android, they choose to require Vulkan. OpenJLES has limit on use of the shader storage buffer object that Vulkan did not. Computers was using Unity, which is support multiple shader storage buffer object with computer shader on Vulkan. Being able to up to 8 buffers with their computer shaders made a huge performance improvement. They implemented an indirect rendering system called Clay that was driven from their computer shaders. Clay let them batch multiple meshes, material, and texture together into one indirect dispatch through. You can check the detailed case study in g.co/game/chronicle link. Activision Call of Duty Warzone Mobile is another game that is Vulkan only. It has an advanced render graph system that uses resource aliasing and explicit barrier to reduce render target memory requirement. Call of Duty Warzone Mobile uses a full GPU pipeline with extensive CPU compute-based calling. On hardware that can support very large descriptor set, they use them to achieve bindless rendering. You can check the detailed case study in g.co/game/Call of Duty Warzone Mobile link as well. Google has regular events to get feedback from the game developers. We have collected feedback about the Vulkan. As you can see, around half of the developers have already tested the Vulkan, and almost all of them have a plan for Vulkan in their future game. Many developers have experience with the Vulkan, recognize its potential. However, stability issues like crashes or kernel panic have happened. We understand these challenges and are actively working to facilitate broader Vulkan adoption. Our efforts include collaborating with the game engines, OEMs, and GPU vendors to connect with the developers, enhance DQP tests, and optimize PSO within the Unity is part of this. Let's move some Vulkan technical things. I will introduce some advanced graphic feature in Vulkan. It can help with the graphic quality or performance improvement. First is the ray tracing, which is quite a new feature. Only the latest mobile GPU support the ray tracing acceleration. With ray tracing, we can create various graphic effects like shadow, reflection, or ambient occlusion. Usually, ray tracing is quite a heavy workload feature. In the case of the shadow, it is not much heavy, but reflection and ambient occlusion are quite heavy. It provides better graphic qualities, but also could make FPS decrease. Vulkan has two main ray tracing extensions. One is ray query, and the other is the ray tracing pipeline. Ray query is simplest implementation. In use just one shader in the fragment stage, the ray tracing pipeline provides more detail for implementing effects like cross hit and miss shaders. So you can draw depending on if the ray hit the object or not. Most latest mobile GPU with the ray tracing installation only support the ray query, not a pipeline. So game use ray tracing are checking for the VK, KHR, query extension. I mentioned the ray tracing is quite a heavy workload feature. It checks if the ray has hit the object or missed. To reduce its workload, in use acceleration structure. TLAS is a time-level acceleration structure. It is a group of objects. It potentially checks if the ray insect. If the ray insected in the TLAS, it checked with the bottom-level acceleration structure object for the exact checking. Because it potentially checked the ray first, it could reduce the ray calculation workload. The main performance point of the ray tracing is how you manage the object in acceleration structure. If you manage the object well, it can improve performance. Next is the AMD Fidelity FPS Super Resolution, or FSR, an upscaling technology that can be used with the Vulkan devices. It lets you render your main scene at a lower resolution and upscaling before doing the post-processing. It could make high performance improvement and make similar graphic quality with a high resolution draw. FSR1 can be used on any Vulkan devices. Your flagship device will be able to run FSR2. FSR2 adds temporal-based anti-aliasing and upscaling, which require more information compared with the FS1. It needs color, depth, and the motion vector input. So upscaling quality is better in the FSR2. The motion vector is not generally used in the mobile games. But if your game uses the motion vector, it would be the worst to using it. AMD announced FSR3. It offers frame interpolation to further increase the output frame rate. It generally targeting high FPS games and require high memory bandwidth, so it might not be suitable for Android. FSR is open source, so you can modify it or integrate in your game. There is also FSR plugin for the Unreal game engine, and it helps to use it without much effort. The last thing is the variable rate shading. It allows varying the rate of pixel shading across the different regions of the screen. If you are using the 2x2 pixel shading, it is similar to using quarter resolution in the pixel shader perspective, and it makes some performance improvement. For example, you can draw detail in focused area and draw lower resolution shading for not focused area and not important area. In this case of scene, it doesn't need to draw detail in the sky. So it drew with the 4x4 pixel shading rate and detail drew near my boat with the one-by-one shading LED. You can check the device support VRS with the VK, KHR fragment shading LED extension. Next, Samsung will present how they have been working with developer in the Vulkan.
Thank you, Do-Hyun. Hi, I'm Jung Kim from Samsung Mobile, and I'm work at the GPU and DevTech team. I will cover some summary of what kind of things Samsung is now doing for support Android game developer to use Vulkan for better on their game. So the partnership between Samsung and Google is not the first time. So we started the work with the Android graphics team to bring up the first Vulkan Android phone in market. 2016, Galaxy S7 Unpack event, and also we introduced great demo protester based on a UE for the first Vulkan render hall support. We also do the jointly collaborating with the three-way with the Google and also the Samsung and then Marble to introducing the high fidelity Android game based on Vulkan support, the Lineage to Evolution in 2017, and also we do that announcing that expanding that experience of foldable Android gaming in GDC 2019. Also, we do announcing the updatability with the GPU Vulkan driver better, and we use that for support the AGI developer preview sooner than. And we do announcing that in 2020 Google Game Dev Summit. So keep continuing this collaboration and partnership with the Google team. We do support our best to Vulkan optimization for the game developer. So we think that the game optimization is really key, but what is the really benefit and value of that? What is the goal of that? That is the really point of we really want to highlighting. So you can see this is the Nightcrow that we made and Mad Engine Studio developing, and this, we really tightly couple with support the game developer to building up the really high image quality for the game content, and also at the same time you can see the graph with the better stable frame per second without any heating problem. So what is the goal of the optimizing the Android gaming is that to improve the both image quality higher and also at the same time the better performing without any heating problem. So what is the key part of the game optimization? We think there's a two-part. One is about the game content, and another is the game engine. So game content, the problem that many game developers are facing at in Android ecosystem, there's not many good tools, and even Android graphics team, the Google really support their own tool like AGI, and also some GPU vendors support some their own vendor tools like Snapdragon Profiler and also the Streamline Performance Analyzer. But still, developers are really confusing with what is the really important encounters and what is the really good way of guiding their optimizing their game contents better. So we once decided to work with a game studio to optimizing their game. We really focusing on to the building up the report based on accurate analysis with some of our internal tools and share the report and guiding them to optimizing their content better way. That is the kind of the really key part of the polishing the content, because that is the really fundamental things. Without the content that polish it, that any kind of the optimization follow after that might be screwed up. So we guiding the game developer do the polishing the game content the first. And then second, we do deliver some optimizing the custom game engine to support their game. So we are working closely with a game engine company, really well-known Epic Games Unreal Engine and also Unity. Not only those two, but also the Godot and also Coco. So we have the massive number of the optimizing patch set, and we deliver the game developer to use those things to customize their engine for their purpose. So those combination of the game engine optimization and also the content side optimization, the game optimization fundamentally solving the problem, so and also can achieve both the quality and also higher performance. So the key of that is Vulkan, we think, as Do-hyun mentioned, many variety of things about the benefit of using Vulkan, because we believe that the GPU driver side, it makes that run graphics processing faster. So you can see the numbers in the table, the GLES and Vulkan, we do the internal test, the driver speed test, that is showing the 5 times faster in the Vulkan. That is based on the Eclipse GPU and RDNA 2. And you see the real performance comparison between the GLES version of A game and also the Vulkan version of A game, and compare that is almost a 10% performance uplifting in frame per second perspective. We also have the game engine optimizing. I mentioned that multiple patches that we merged it into the regular game engine, and we see even just using Vulkan with the regular game engine support, the using Vulkan can deliver the 20% off-roading average in the CPU workload. And once we do that additional optimizing the Vulkan render hall, then we see that the CPU uploading could be more bigger, like 28%, and also GPU uploading also get capable, like kind of the 4% level. We also take care much about the GLES game, because the market out there, the GLES game are still many, and that is the majority of the things. So we believe that the Vulkan centric world will come sooner. It will help the game development more easier, but still we have to take care of the GLES things. So we care about the angle. So you know that angle is a red implementation, the GLES support based on Vulkan backend. And we do a lot on optimizing that angle for support the GLES in Eclipse GPU, the Galaxy S24 in European model, and also the Korean model. So there's a kind of a really big jump in the benchmarking and also the real game. So it comes to the real benefit of optimizing the angle. And we are really trying to close to the level of the angle support, performing really close to the native GLES driver. And also we do the additional optimization for the angle more proper and more conceptually similar operation and behavior in the native GLES, because angle have some restriction because that is the back end with the Vulkan support. So GLES and Vulkan has some gap conceptually. The one of the big gap comes from the compilation. So Vulkan doesn't support the compilation explicit API. So we do compile and creating the pipeline, but there's no way of the compile shader in the Vulkan. But GLES, you have the independent API to compile shader and ring program. So to support that compile shader in GLES based on the Vulkan backend, we need some additional work to support that and reducing the gap between that conceptual differences. So we brought GPL extension into the Angle implementation, and Angle projects already have some basic implementation. We modify that and optimize more, and then now the Angle is shipping with the Galaxy S24 Exynos that support the proper API of the GeoPro binary kind of thing. And we do care about the new feature like ray tracing. So we really do promoting the game developer to support the ray tracing properly, and we try to make that is valuable and also it is feasible to use. You know that rasterization has some fundamental restriction of processing that writing effect. So ray tracing is not just a fancy feature. We think that is a kind of more better way of accurate writing effect and more efficient way. So we do, as the Do-hyun mentioned, we do the hybrid render, ray tracing, reflection, and shadow first. And that is the demo that the Samsung team internally developing, and show there's some kind of the really visual accuracy of the shadow and also reflection is capable with really efficient workload level. And we also, is not only the demo, we are trying to bring that into the ray tracing into the real game. Nightcrow, we made a Meta Engine studio developing. We brought the ray tracing feature into the game, the ray tracing real-time shadow. So you can see that the characters and also the objects are really more in-depth impression, and also that is making more visual quality better. So there's many things we are contributing to support a game developer with the Vulkan perspective, but finally maybe that on demand that most things are really developer want to have is the tool. So there's many tools, but there could be some issues to install, connecting problem or compatibility problem and driver issues. All those kind of things can happen. So we decided to bring our own overlay tool into the Galaxy device. So GPU watch is that. You can easily turn on that GPU watch in develop option in Galaxy device, any Galaxy device, and also you can see normal mode, there's a performance monitoring index. You can see the graph and CPU, GPU usage, and also frame per second, and the context information like the surface resolution and the driver type, and also the type of API like Vulkan and GLES. And we also deliver the professional mode to support the more serious game developer, including the render stage graph, and also some API statistics, and the GPU counters, and some more feature you can use for during your development. And those tools are now going to updating, and we are really hardly working to improve that functionality and also the feature to reach to your demand level. So we are working the wide range of the developers. Some are really big, some are small, indie, and also there are so many game engine companies we are working with. So globally, locally, there's a kind of worldwide support is now ongoing, and we are growing our partnership more and more. So we really want you inviting to the Samsung session, because this is really quick summary. And we are preparing the 2 more sessions Samsung's own sponsored. One is the Wednesday morning, 9 a.m., the best gaming experience with the Samsung Galaxy. That session will cover Samsung's new cloud gaming services, and also the introduction to the Samsung's game developer support program, Galaxy Game Task Force. Those are kind of the introduction, what kind of benefit you can have once you deciding to joining that partnership with the Samsung for game developer support program, and also the game cloud gaming services. And the second session is happening on Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Bringing maximum reality to the Vulkan games. That is covering more deeper dive into any up-to-date advanced Vulkan optimization technique, And also at the same time, how that mobile ray tracing feasible, we will share everything we've done during we support Nitro with Med Engine and Remade to bring the real shadow ray tracing into their game. We will share every part of the pieces by pieces of our things we've done in the driver and also the engine side and contents too. So really think you better to attending those sessions will help you to understand what kind of the benefit you can have in considering to work together with Samsung to develop your game. And this is the end of the Vulkan session. Thank you very much, and I believe the Q&A session will happen right after the end of the session.